we'll be using Forge to insert our mods into Minecraft. Forge has two programming languages that are associated with it, Java and JSON. Each of them do different things and have different responsibilities. Java is like a fancy fridge that does all sorts of things. It cools things, it freezes things, it has shelves that you could put things in, it even makes ice and water. And it even has a shelf that you can find your last year's Easter candy at. Cool. The fridge is great at doing lots of things, but sometimes it can be overkill for just simple tasks. JSON, on the other hand, is like an ice tray. It does one thing, and it does one thing really well. It makes ice cubes. But you know what? We're creative people. We can make it do other things, like organize things, like noodles. And blocks? Ooh, even toenails. JSON is great at organizing things like that. But it's not great at other things, so it's very simple and basic. For our food mod, we'll be using JSON to create the recipe mod. For those of you that haven't heard of JSON before, let me give you a brief overview. JSON is like a train. A train has a beginning and an end. Nowadays, an engine is placed at the back and the front. A train has a beginning and an end. JSON is a name-value-pair-oriented language, meaning for every name that it has, it also has a value associated with it. Can't have one without the other. That name-value pairing is called an object. An object is defined not only by the name and value, but also by these curly brackets at the beginning and at the end. That's how you know that you have a complete object, matching curly brackets. In this case, our train is carrying a couple of cars, car 1 and car 2. Each car has a name-value pairing. Each car is carrying something. In JSON, you have to quote all the text. So, car 1 has quotes, and then its value, whatever it is, also has quotes around it, unless it's a number. For some reason, that's a thing. And you put a colon in the middle. So, enough of that. Let's see what car 1 is holding. Car 1 is holding snow. Hey, that's cool. Huh? Oh. I thought it was funny. Fine. Now, we have multiple cars here. And so we need a comma in between the two objects. That comma allows JSON to know that we're moving on to a new thing, to expect more name-value pairs or objects. So the comma is the coupler between the two cars. And you would not believe how many times I've forgotten the comma. It is frustrating. Commas are important because programs and trains crash without them. Sometimes you have multiple values associated with a single name. It's like your family's last name. You are all the Blah family with some number of family members. So for each Blah, or Smith, we can have a Bob, a Julie, Jane, and little Theodore. So adorable. When we have repeated elements such as these, we can stick them in an array with square brackets. The same thing applies for car number 2. We have 2 boxes. One is square, one is round. Each of these boxes has content. So the contents of one are something and the contents of another are something. These lists are separated by a comma. So box 1 has a value of cones. Snow cones. Oh, that's cool. I bet I know what's in box 2. What do you think? It could be cherry. It could be pineapple. It could be coconut. But box 2 has hot sauce. Hot sauce? Really? This is the world's worst snow cone. Unless you have a brother or sister. Then it's the best snow cone. Hey kid, you want a snow cone? Now we know everything that we need to regarding JSON. So we know that each object has a name value pair. We know that commas separate objects. Objects are defined by curly brackets. We know that arrays can be found within square brackets. Now that we know everything that we need to know about JSON, we can cure our hunger problem. Not with the hot sauce snow cones. That's not going to help us. Again, unless we have a sibling. But we are going to actually jump into the code and start writing. Let's open up our development environment and let's go into source, resources, assets, and then into recipes. We're going to create a new recipe. We're going to call it I'm hungry.json. Not JSON, JSON. Very important. Otherwise, our code will not be happy with us. And let's get this out of the way. All right, what do we know about JSON? Begins and ends with a curly brace. That's how we know where our objects are defined at. So far, so good. And Minecraft has 3 parts. Minecraft has 3 parts as far as its recipes go. First off, it has the definition, the pattern, and then it has the description of the parts that make up the pattern. Are you using leaves? Are you using dirt? Are you using ender pearls? Whatever. And then the last part is what you actually get out of the recipe. And so we have to start it off with the type. Quotes around the names, colons to separate the name value pairs, and I always put a space in between just to make it pretty. Minecraft, and internally Minecraft is crafting shaped. So here, Minecraft or Forge will actually parse into here to the Minecraft shaped and extract the name value pair from there. So this name value pair pattern is equal to an array. And this array we're going to name like this. We're going to name like that. Okay, here, those of you that have played Minecraft before probably recognize this as something that looks a lot like the crafting table. Here, we're going to be putting in dirt, and dirt, gravel, dirt, and dirt, 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 because that's all we have. And then, that's step 1. That's our pattern. Next step is to actually identify what the pattern means, or we could say the key. And all right, first key that we have is the D. What does it stand for? Well, the D has a couple of things. Number 1, it's an item, and the item is quote Minecraft dirt. And it has a data of 0. This actually messed me up for quite a while. This data :0 is actually talking about complex objects, like leaves, for example. I spent 2 weeks working on the mod, trying to get leaves to be used in it, and I couldn't figure it out to work. I put in data 0, data 1. Well, it turns out that I was using some other type of leaf than what was for data point 0. Each of those numbers corresponds with a specific type of leaf. So if we're going to use all the leaves, well, you need to have, what is it, 6 leaves? 8 leaves. I think it's 8 leaves. Data point 0, data point 1, data point 2, data point 3, and then you have to switch over to Minecraft leaves 2, 0, and then 1. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of leaves, and if you want to get them all, you need to copy this D portion, and then rinse and repeat. Okay, let's talk about gravel. It is just like the other one, so we could copy paste, but I'm already typing, so Minecraft gravel, comma, quote, data, colon, 0. All right, there's our last bit. The last part, what do we expect to get out of this? We expect to get a result, colon, curly bracket. And just like we did before, item, colon, space, Minecraft, colon. Now, we could return anything. We could return a horse. We could return gold. But I'm going to return a golden apple. Data, colon, 0. And that should actually do it for our mod. That's it. Now let's hit the magic play button and see what happens. So this is opening up the terminal. This is the stack trace. This is what tells us whether our mod worked or didn't work. And so from this point forward, after this soundbite thing, it's trying to load our mod. And you will notice it has some different looking fonts or different looking text. JSON parse exemption, JSON stream malformed, unterminated. Object at line 14, column 6. Line 14, columns. You know what this means? This means we have a bug. Okay, let's take a look at this. What do we have here? So it was complaining about this line in particular. So first off, these curly brackets match because it's part of an object. There's our name, there's our colon, there's our values. Name, value, Minecraft, gravel. Everything looks spelled correctly. And there's even a comma separating these two. Now, when Forge loads a JSON file, it starts from the top and it works its way down. So it got through here, it got through here, so the pattern was okay. Something in the key was messed up. And so if we look up above, there's our curly brackets. What did that error say again? It said unterminated object. That means we didn't end something. How do you end things in JSON? Curly brackets or commas? Yep, there's my comma. I bet that fixes it. Ooh, this is saying there's an error. So if you look over here on this, that red symbol shows that there's an error. And this was actually smart enough to find the error. And so if you scroll down, it shows doesn't allow such tokens. I didn't quote that. So let's add the quotes and see anything else. There's no more red symbol. Seems okay. Let's try it and see what happens. Worst case scenario, we close the bug. Player 183. Well, I feel pretty good about that. That's a fun number. Mojang keeps doing what it's doing, but we're going to click over here because we care about this. Created, textures, libraries fully loaded. So far, so good. Nothing's exploded. There's Minecraft. We look at our mods. There's the mod. Okay, well, let's see what happens. And I'm gonna have to edit this because I forgot to delete some stuff. What was I talking? So, let's see what happens. Dirt. So if our mod works, I should be able to put this gravel in right here, and it'll work. Our mod is a success. I now have the golden apple. Cool. Well, you know what that means? We no longer have a bug. Well, here's the mod for the golden apple. Let's go fix the documentation.